What if the foundation of modern gun law shifted without anyone announcing it? No emergency broadcasts, no official press briefings, no headlines warning you what just changed. Instead, a series of courtroom rulings quietly reset the rules, and the effects are already spreading nationwide. In January, judges issued decisions that altered how carry works, how laws are enforced, and what actions can now land gun owners in serious legal trouble. Some of these rulings strengthen Second Amendment protections more than anything we've seen in years. Others draw lines you cannot cross. 10 major legal changes are now in effect. Overlook even one of them, and the consequences could be permanent. If you care about your rights and want accurate breakdowns of what actually matters, make sure you're subscribed. These updates aren't optional anymore. Let's get into it. Before we go any further, a quick note. This video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. We're discussing recent court rulings, legal challenges, and public policy debates surrounding the Second Amendment. Nothing in this video should be considered legal advice. Gun laws vary by state and can change quickly. If you have questions about your specific situation, always consult a qualified attorney and make sure you're following all applicable laws where you live. Ruling: open carry returns by force. California just lost a major enforcement weapon, and restrictive states everywhere are paying attention. On January 6, 2026, the Ninth Circuit issued its ruling in Baird versus Bonta, effectively dismantling the logic behind restrictive may-issue carry systems. For years, California created a no-win situation. Concealed carry permits required subjective approval from sheriffs, while open carry was outright banned in nearly every populated county. The court ruled that scheme unconstitutional. Their reasoning was simple: a state cannot block concealed carry and then criminalize open carry at the same time. A right cannot exist only in theory. The ruling established a clear rule. If concealed permits are restricted, open carry must remain legal. If open carry is banned, concealed permits must be issued objectively. As a result, enforcement of open carry bans in major California cities stopped immediately. A right that had been suppressed for years was restored overnight. Ruling 9, the NFA tax collapse. One of the oldest financial barriers to gun ownership just disappeared. As of January 1st, 2026, the federal tax on suppressors, short-barreled rifles, and short-barreled shotguns was reduced to zero. That tax dates back to 1934 and functioned as a financial punishment for exercising a constitutional right. Registration still exists, but the penalty is gone. The impact has been immediate. Approval times dropped sharply. Suppressor demand surged. Local noise complaints began disappearing. Anyone who paid the tax recently may qualify for reimbursement, but the window is limited. Ruling 8, homemade firearms redefined. The legal gray area surrounding firearm kits has closed. Following Vanderstock versus Garland, courts allowed the ATF's expanded definition of firearms to take full effect. If a kit can be assembled into a working firearm using common tools and minimal time, it is now legally treated as a firearm. That means serialization requirements, background checks, and FFL transfers. Retailers who ignored the ruling are already facing criminal charges. This is no longer theoretical. Enforcement is underway. Ruling 7, permit power expands nationwide. Carry permits now carry more weight than ever before. Courts are increasingly ruling that states cannot grant permits to residents while blocking non-residents who meet the same standards. At the same time, constitutional carry continues spreading. The result is rapidly expanding reciprocity and shrinking room for restrictive policies. Ruling 6, the collapse of sensitive place abuse. States attempted to outlaw carry by declaring nearly every location a sensitive place. After Wolford versus Lopez, blanket bans on private property were ruled unconstitutional. If a business wants to prohibit firearms, it must clearly say so. Government silence can no longer turn lawful carry into a felony. Ruling 5, non-violent felons get a second look. Lifetime firearm bans are no longer automatic. In Range versus Attorney General, courts ruled the government must show actual danger, not just point to a conviction. Thousands now have a path to rights restoration. Ruling 4, ATF enforcement reined in. The ATF lost its ability to destroy businesses over paperwork. Only intentional violations now justify license revocation. Dealers previously shut down over minor errors are seeking reinstatement. Ruling 3, magazine limits unraveling. Magazine capacity bans are rapidly falling apart. Courts found no historical basis for capacity limits. Cases like Duncan versus Bonta are forcing states to abandon 10-round bans. Ruling 2, the common use standard expands. Assault weapon bans are approaching collapse. In Sowers versus Illinois, courts are applying the Heller common use test. State bans are expected to fall within the next 18 months. Ruling 1, industry protection locked in. In Mexico versus Smith & Wesson, the Supreme Court reaffirmed industry immunity. Attempts to bankrupt manufacturers through lawsuits are now effectively dead. These rulings mark a turning point for gun owners. Legal victories only matter if you understand them and act accordingly. Share your thoughts below and subscribe so you don't miss updates that could protect your rights or keep you on the right side of the law. Thanks for watching.